Virtue is relative to the actions and ages of each of us in all that we do. The learning and knowledge that we have is, at the most, but little compared with that of which we are ignorant. I to die, and you to live. Which is better, God only knows. If particulars are to have meaning, there must be universals. If a man can be properly said to love something, it must be clear that he feels affection for it as a whole, and does not love part of it to the exclusion of the rest. Then the lover, who is true and no counterfeit, must of necessity be loved by his love. They do certainly give very strange and newfangled names to diseases. Either we shall find what it is we are seeking, or at least we shall free ourselves from the persuasion that we know what we do not know. Twice and thrice over, as they say, good is it to repeat and review what is good. Justice in the life and conduct of the state is possible only as first it resides in the hearts and souls of the citizens. The gods created certain kinds of beings to replenish our bodies. They are the trees and the plants and the seeds. May I do to others as I would that they should do unto me. The prisoner grows to love his chains. If there is a good and wise God, then there also exists a progress of humanity toward perfection. And is there anything more closely connected with wisdom than truth? There is no other start to philosophy but wonder. Arithmetic is a kind of knowledge in which the best nature should be trained, and which must not be given up. Excessive liberty, whether it lies in state or individuals, seems only to pass into excess of slavery. Love is the joy of the good, the wonder of the wise, the amazement of the gods. He who advises a sick man, whose manner of life is prejudicial to health, is clearly bound first of all to change his patient's manner of life. The good are not willing to rule either for the sake of money or of honor. As the proverb says, a good beginning is half the business, and to have begun well is praised by all. And the true order of going, or being led by another, to the things of love, is to begin from the beauties of earth. The soul is like a pair of winged horses and a charioteer joined in natural union. As wolves love lambs, so lovers love their loves. It is as expedient that a wicked man be punished as that a sick man be cured by a physician, for all chastisement is a kind of medicine. Man's greatest victory is over oneself. Let him take heart who does advance, even in the smallest degree. Love consists in feeling the sacred one beating inside the loved one. The physician, to the extent he is a physician, considers only the good of the patient in what he prescribes, and his own not at all. Justice is having and doing what is one's own. Adultery is the injury of nature. Arguments, like men, are often pretenders. You can remember a single deluge only, but there were many previous ones. That man is wisest who, like Socrates, realizes that his wisdom is worthless. When the citizens of a society can see and hear their leaders, then that society should be seen as one. Those having torches will pass them on to others. The bees can abide no drones amongst them, but as soon as they begin to be idle, they kill them. Would that I were the heaven, that I might be all full of lovelit eyes to gaze on thee. Necessity, who is the mother of our invention. I do believe that there are gods, and in a far higher sense than that in which any of my accusers believe in them. It is not noble to return evil for evil. At no time ought we to do an injury to our neighbors. Love is the name for our pursuit of wholeness, for our desire to be complete. Love is simply the name for the desire and pursuit of the whole. Through obedience learn to command. If it is naturally in you to be a good orator, a notable orator you will be when you have acquired knowledge and practice. Writing is the geometry of the soul. Not only is the old man twice a child, but also the man who is drunk. If we are ever to have pure knowledge of anything, we must get rid of the body and contemplate things by themselves with the soul by itself. The soul should concentrate itself by itself. All things are in fate, yet all things are not decreed by fate. The only real ill-doing is the deprivation of knowledge. Art has no end but its own perfection. Time is the moving imago of the unmoving eternity. It is right to give every man his due. Is what is moral commanded by God because it is moral, or is it moral because it is commanded by God? So the well-educated man can learn to sing and dance well. We are bound to our bodies like an oyster to its shell. For this feeling of wonder shows that you are a philosopher, since wonder is the only beginning of philosophy. The elements of instruction should be presented to the mind in childhood, but not with any compulsion. Boys should abstain from all use of wine until their 18th year, for it is wrong to add fire to fire. Everywhere there is one principle of justice, which is the interest of the stronger. The greatest mistake in the treatment of diseases is that there are physicians for the body and physicians for the soul, although the two cannot be separated. Only a philosopher's mind grows wings, since its memory always keeps it as close as possible to those realities by being close to which the gods are divine. No town can live peacefully whatever its laws when its citizens do nothing but feast and drink and tire themselves out in the cares of love. Conversion is not implanting eyes, for they exist already, but giving them a right direction, which they have not. He who can properly define and divide is to be considered a god. He whom loves touches not walks in darkness. Train children not by compulsion but as if they were playing. The god of love lives in a state of need. It is a need. It is an urge. It is a homeostatic imbalance. Like hunger and thirst, it's almost impossible to stamp out. Life must be lived as play, playing certain games, making sacrifices, singing and dancing, and then a man will be able to propitiate the gods. We do not learn, and that what we call learning is only a process of recollection. Experience proves that anyone who has studied geometry is infinitely quicker to grasp difficult subjects than one who has not. It is a common saying, and in everybody's mouth, that life is but a sojourn. This city is what it is because our citizens are what they are. Hereditary honors are a noble and a splendid treasure to descendants. Pepper is small in quantity and great in virtue. Men of sound sense have law for their God, but men without sense pleasure. The best stomachs are not those which reject all foods. Let parents bequeath to their children not riches, but the spirit of reverence. Those who reproach injustice do so because they are afraid not of doing it but of suffering it. See you in the next videos.